All right, Khamzat Chimaev is still one of the biggest names in the UFC, and he wants to get even bigger. He wants to be a champion, and he doesn't care what weight class it's at, right? He was welterweight. He was trying to become the champ there. Then he moved up to middleweight, had a tough fight with Kamaru Usman, just managed to get past him there. We thought he was going to fight Strickland for the belt, but he's not. That's going to be Dricus Du Plessis. Well, now he's going up another weight class. He wants to fight Alex Pereira, the newly crowned light heavyweight champion of the world. And I get it. Stylistically, that's a good matchup for Khamzat Chimaev. Not saying he would beat Alex Pereira before the Potang crew come for me. Just stylistically, because he's not a wrestler, he's a kickboxer. And Khamzat Chimaev has been able to take everybody down. But if that even comes off, let's talk about the situation first. Because there's other people that want to get their hands on Khamzat, right? They want to get their hands on Khamzat. That's a good line. We're talking about Dricus Du Plessis. We're talking about Jiri Prochazka. We're talking about potentially Sean Strickland. And some of these people are a little bit pissed off. Now, Khamzat Chimaev, as we know, 13-0. Only really saw a tough fight. Only seen any adversity when he fought Kamaru and when he fought Gilbert Burns. Now, that might give warning bells if you're a Khamzat fan because, you know, anytime he stepped up in competition, anytime he went against a true elite, he struggled, okay? Gilbert Burns was close. Kamaru Usman was close. They were close fights. Truly dominant in the start. Certainly that first round against Kamaru Usman, my word. Fair play to Usman for even getting out of there. But it doesn't matter, okay? He got the job done. That's all that matters. The record book show, 13-0, right? So he wants big fights next. And he needs to fight. He's got to get back in there. As we know, the schedule of Khamzat Chimaev hasn't been the strongest. He hasn't been fighting too frequently. But he only wants big fights. First of all, wants Alex Pereira. He ain't going to get that, right? And nor should he. I mean, it's just my opinion, right? I don't speak for the UFC, but I don't think he should get that. As I said, he was doing all right at welterweight. He failed to make weight. He's come up to middleweight. He's had a couple of big wins there and a big win over Kamaru Usman. Granted, he was the welterweight champion, but still, they were both welterweights. Sean Strickland, Khamzat Chimaev, and Kamaru Usman were all welterweights, so they've moved up a weight class. So was Robert Whittaker, okay? Everybody should move up a weight class, but we're not talking about that. So he gets through Usman, and now he wants to fight Pereira. I mean, just pick a weight class, bro. I mean, I get it. You might say, this guy's got balls of steel, right? He wants to bypass the line. First of all, getting to fight for the belt, that's the easy part. Now, it's not easy fighting the champion. What I mean by that is the hard part, scratching and clawing your way up the ladder, getting through all the ranked opponents to becoming the #1 contender. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of people in the light heavyweight division. If that was even mentioned, if that was even thought about, they would absolutely lose their mind. Like in the Bisping household the other day, their pet's head would fall off. Check out that video if you haven't seen it. And Harry come walking in with something in his mouth going,
oh no.
And then very delicately just put it down in front of her, right? And it's the bluebird hawk with no head. So Harry's taking the head.
Heads are falling off.
His heads are falling off. Khamzat Chimaev wants to fight Pereira because his takedown defense isn't the best. Stylistically on paper, you might think you'd favor Khamzat Chimaev in that fight. But still, hold your horses, slow your roll, okay? Because somebody else wants to get his hands on him. That person being Dricus Du Plessis. Dricus Du Plessis, as we know, is fighting January 20th in Toronto against Sean Strickland. That's a pretty good fight for both men. I can see a path to victory for both men. I'm leaning towards Dricus Du Plessis. And Dricus Du Plessis said, if that's the fight, I would gladly, as champion, take out the bogeyman. It would be a massive pleasure. He's going to try and take me down, and he should, because I don't think he realizes the power difference between 170 pounds and 185 pounds. And then he went on to say, in terms of style, he tries to outpower everybody. He fights because he wants to show how strong he is. If he fights me and fights that way, he's going to find out what strength really feels like. So Dricus Du Plessis there, very, very confident if he was to fight him, okay? And he has got a point because, yes, he beat Gerald Meerschaert. One punch, I think it was 17 seconds. So they never really tussled. They never really grabbed a hold of one another. Gilbert Burns did push him to the limit. Gilbert Burns fought at lightweight, and Gilbert Burns is now at 170. And Kamaru Usman was the long-time welterweight champion. And he certainly stopped the takedowns in round 2 and 3 for the most part and gave him a really good go. I even thought Kamaru won rounds 2 and 3, but Khamzat won round 1 by a 10-8, so therefore it was a draw. Anyway, we're not doing that. We're not dissecting all of that information. We're talking about Khamzat Chimaev. So Dricus wants him, okay? But there's another person that wants him. Yes, Jiri Prochazka, the man that just fought Alex Pereira. He wants to get his hands on him as well. So Khamzat and Chimaev apparently did a bit of sparring recently. I wasn't aware of this, but in this article it talks about it. They did some sparring, and Khamzat Chimaev has come out and basically said that he had his way with him. Basically said that he beat Prochazka in sparring many, many times. And as we know, the samurai warrior himself, Jiri Prochazka, right? And by the way, shout out Jiri Prochazka. What a guy for admitting that he was actually out to Mark Goddard and eradicating any negativity towards the referee. Here's what he had to say. He said, they can say whatever they want. It's not right to speak about these things because it's preparation and it's training. What happened, happened. That's all. I'm ready to challenge everybody. He said, it doesn't matter for me. I will train and compete and challenge the guys from light heavyweight and middleweight. For me, now it started to be the part where I don't want to choose who will be my opponent. I'm just looking to be the best. Gotta love that guy. Gotta love the fact that he will fight anybody. Okay, Jiri Prochazka will be back, and I still expect a great career. But look at that, Khamzat tapping and telling, saying that he beat him many, many times. And it sounds like Jiri kind of alludes to that, right? Because he doesn't deny it. And to be fair, you don't want to lower yourself to that. You don't want to have to defend yourself. But he just said he can talk about all of these things because it's preparation and it's training. And he's right. There is a difference between an actual fight and there's a difference in training, okay? I did the same thing myself. I talked about a sparring session with Luke Rockhold. I did get the better of him in training. But in the first fight with Rockhold, he tapped me out in the second round. They're two very different things. On the night, it doesn't matter. 4-ounce gloves, one shot can change everything. And who knows? Like, for example, when I sparred against Luke Rockhold, he said that he had a ton of red wine the night before and was a bit hungover.
I feel like this guy's drunk, bro. Like, I feel like you're drunk. You've been drinking a little bit?
Not yet.
No, yeah.
And that might have been true. And who knows, maybe Jiri Prochazka, when he trained with Khamzat Chimaev, was a little bit tired. Maybe he was a little bit exhausted. Maybe he wasn't feeling it. Maybe he couldn't be arsed. Maybe he was having an off day. Or maybe Khamzat just ragdolled him all over the place. We don't know. Maybe Khamzat is better. There's only one way to settle this, guys. They fight. So, Khamzat Chimaev. Big fights only next. Who's it going to be? He wants Alex Pereira. That's not going to happen, okay? It's not. Jiri Prochazka said he wants to get his hands on him, okay? I don't think that's going to happen either. So what is going to happen with Khamzat? Here's what's going to happen with Khamzat. I think Dricus Du Plessis said it best himself. Khamzat is 13-0. The middleweight title is up for grabs. Sean Strickland versus Dricus Du Plessis. Whoever wins that fight, I think Khamzat Chimaev will be next. Let's remember, Dana White did promise him, if he beats Kamaru Usman, he will get a shot at the title. But he did damage his hand, okay? So that's why Dricus has come back into the fold, and that's a great fight. I'm excited for that one. But whoever wins it, they will get to take on Boris, the bogeyman. Prochazka will have to wait. It doesn't matter, but there it is. But regardless of whoever it is, I'm just happy to see Khamzat back. The schedule, as I said, has been very, very slow. He hasn't been fighting too frequently for whatever reason that was. But Dricus Du Plessis, Sean Strickland, Khamzat, not going to happen. Pereira, not going to happen. Du Plessis, Sean Strickland, probably Du Plessis. I mean, at the end of the day, you can never underestimate Sean Strickland, right? Nobody saw him beating Israel Adesanya. Certainly not almost knocking him out in round 5 and then dominating the fight throughout it, okay? So if you can do that, the reality is you can beat most people as well. So Dricus, Strickland, exciting matchup. Khamzat Chimaev, he will get the winner. But what do you think? What do you think about that? Because Jiri wants him. He wants Pereira. Dricus says he'll have him. Strickland will probably say, I'll take him on as well, even though he did say that Khamzat was better than everybody in the gym. And Strickland was in the gym. But I think that's probably Strickland just being nice to his teammates and being a bit self-deprecating. Who would you like to see Khamzat face? Because he's got to come back soon. He's got to keep this ball rolling. He's got to keep the momentum building. By the way, if you are watching this and you are in England, December 14th, December 16th, Tales from the Octagon 2. December 14th is a Thursday, and I'll be at the Indigo at the O2 in London. I'll be joined on stage by Tom Aspinall, the newly crowned heavyweight champ, by Paul Craig. We'll be going through all of our fight stories. We'll be having a laugh. We've got stand-up comedians. We've got jokes. We've got Q&As. We've got meet and greets. And on Saturday night, right before UFC 296, is the perfect pre-party. If you're in Manchester at the Apollo Theatre, myself, Tom, and Paul Craig will be doing it all over again. Meet and greets, etc. Having a few beers, having a laugh. myticket.co.uk or just search Tales from the Octagon 2. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe, ring the bell. I'll see you soon.